Long ago, in a time when the magnificent Khmer Empire was ascending to its zenith, a kingdom named Anindia sprawled across golden plains, dotted with sacred temples and forests humming with ancient spirits. This was the era of Angkor, a civilization of unparalleled power and beauty. And within this vibrant land, near the grand city of Angkor Thom, a young monk in training named Tum was born into a humble family of rice farmers. From his earliest days, it was clear that Tum was different. He carried a divine blessing, a gift from the heavens themselves, voice so hauntingly beautiful that the temple priests were certain it was a direct channel to the gods. When Tum chanted, his voice would fill the sacred halls, and it was said that the very stone walls of the temples trembled with emotion. His melodies were not just sounds. They were stories, prayers, and declarations of the soul, resonating with a purity that touched everyone who heard them. His life was dedicated to study, meditation, and the sacred duties of a monk, a path of discipline and devotion. Far from the temple's serene and ordered world lived a young woman named Teav. She was the cherished daughter of a prosperous and powerful Khmer noble family, a world away from Tum's simple existence. Teav grew up in a cocoon of luxury, surrounded by devoted servants, the finest silks, and the strict, unyielding rules of high society. She was taught grace, obedience, and the duties expected of a noblewoman. But beneath this polished exterior, Teav's heart was a garden of its own, full of curiosity, deep kindness, and dreams she dared not speak aloud. She longed for a world beyond the high walls of her family's estate, a world of genuine connection and feeling. The wheels of fate began to turn during a grand festival, a celebration that brought people from every corner of the kingdom together. Tum, by a rare decree, was chosen to lead the sacred chants for the royal court, as his voice, clear and resonant, soared through the air. It reached Teav where she sat among the nobility. She had heard beautiful music before, but nothing like this. It was a voice that seemed to speak directly to her soul, awakening a part of her she never knew existed. She was captivated, her heart fluttering like a butterfly in a storm. She had to know who this singer was. Driven by this newfound powerful emotion, Teav arranged for a discreet meeting. Under the watchful eyes of her loyal handmaidens, she met Tum. When their eyes met for the first time, something unspoken and profound passed between them. In Tum, Teav saw not just a monk, but a man with a gentle spirit and a depth of feeling that mirrored her own. And in Teav, Tum saw a kindness and a light that shone brighter than any temple jewel. In that stolen moment, a connection was forged, love as pure and powerful as Tum's divine voice. It was a love that was beautiful, but also forbidden, destined to challenge the very foundations of their worlds. They began to meet in secret, their love blossoming in the shadows of ancient trees and the quiet corners of the bustling city. Each meeting was a risk, a dance with danger, but they couldn't stay away. Tum would sing for her, his voice a private concert just for her ears, weaving tales of love and longing. Teav, in turn, shared her dreams, her fears, and the secrets of her heart. They found in each other a soulmate, a perfect reflection of their own deepest desires. For the first time in their lives, they felt truly seen, truly understood. This clandestine love became their entire world, a beautiful, fragile paradise they built for themselves. But secrets, especially in a world of rigid tradition, have a way of coming to light. Rumors began to spread, whispers carried on the wind from the market stalls to the palace corridors. Teav's mother, a woman of unbending will and ambition, caught wind of these whispers. The idea of her daughter, a jewel of the nobility, being involved with a poor monk was not just an embarrassment. It was an unthinkable disgrace. Her plans for Teav were far grander: a strategic marriage to the son of a powerful governor, a union that would secure their family's status and influence for generations. Teav's mother acted swiftly and ruthlessly. She confined Teav to her chambers, forbidding her from leaving and cutting off all contact with the outside world. To Teav, it was a prison. The vibrant world she had discovered with Tum was replaced by silence and despair. At the same time, her mother finalized the marriage arrangements. Teav was to be wed to the governor's son, a man she had never met, a man she could never love. Her protests, her tears, her pleas, they all fell on deaf ears. Her mother's decision was absolute. Word of Teav's impending marriage reached Tum like a death knell. The news shattered his world. The thought of losing Teav, of her being forced into a life without love, was more than he could bear. Desperate and heartbroken, he made a choice that would seal their fate. He renounced his monastic vows, casting aside his sacred robes and the life of devotion he had known. He was no longer a monk. He was simply a man in love, a man willing to do anything to be with the woman who held his heart. He raced to the province where Teav was to be married, hoping against hope that he could stop the ceremony. He arrived just as the wedding procession was underway. Seeing Teav adorned in bridal silks but with eyes full of sorrow, he could not contain his grief. He began to sing. It was not a sacred chant this time, but a song of their love, a lament poured from the depths of his broken heart. His voice, filled with an unbearable anguish, carried across the crowd a raw and powerful testament to their forbidden love. Teav heard his song, and her heart broke anew. She knew in that moment she could not go through with the marriage. In a bold act of defiance, she ran from the procession and into Tum's arms. For a brief, fleeting moment, they were reunited, holding each other in a desperate embrace. But their reunion was short-lived. The governor, enraged by this public humiliation and the disruption of his plans, was merciless. His soldiers, following his furious command, seized Tum, and there, in front of the horrified crowd, in front of the woman he loved, Tum was executed. Seeing the love of her life slain before her very eyes, Teav's world collapsed into an abyss of darkness and despair. The light in her life was extinguished. There was no future, no hope, no reason to live without him. In a final tragic act of love and loyalty, she took a small blade she had hidden in her wedding attire and, with a heart utterly broken, she ended her own life, falling beside Tum. In death they were finally, and tragically, united. The news of their deaths spread like a wildfire, a tragic tale whispered in every household. When the story reached the ears of the king, he was moved by the depth of their love and horrified by the cruelty of their fate. He summoned Teav's mother and the governor, holding them accountable for their merciless actions. As a punishment and a warning to all, he condemned them to a grim fate, a dark reflection of the tragedy they had caused. The story of Tum and Teav became more than just a tale of two lovers. It became a legend, a cornerstone of Cambodian culture, a poignant epic poem known as the Tum Teav. It is a story that has been told and retold for centuries, a timeless reminder of the power of true love and the devastating consequences of a society bound by rigid class and tradition. Their love story, born from a divine voice and a gentle heart, ended in tragedy, but it lives on forever in the soul of Cambodia. A haunting melody of love, loss, and sacrifice. Thank you for joining us on this journey into one of Cambodia's most cherished legends. If you were moved by the story of Tum and Teav, please like this video, subscribe to our channel for more stories from around the world, and share your thoughts in the comments below. We'll see you next time.